Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English. Friends, in this video I'm going to summarize a famous story 270 crore heartbeats by the famous Indian writer Amrita Pritam. And in this story Amrita Pritam explores the emotional journey of a woman whose name is Surekha as she navigates love, loss, betrayal and ultimately self-discovery. Centered around the symbolic idea that a star dies after 270 crore heartbeats. The story uses this metaphor to trace the emotional highs and lows of Surekha's life. Through her experiences with two different marriages, Surekha transforms from a dependent woman bound by tradition to a self reliant individual who redefines her own identity and strength. The story powerfully highlights the themes of female empowerment, resilience, and the renewal of the human spirit. Now, how does the story begins? The story begins with the emotional exhaustion and symbolism of heartbeat. The main character of the story is here Surekha. In the very opening scene of the story, Surekha is shown as she's removing her Mangal Sutra, which is a significant act for a married Hindu woman, and she is removing the Mangal Sutra, which shows the end of a relationship or a complete emotional break. Her heart beats intensely, and she recalls a Tibetan Lama's belief that a star dies after 270 crore heartbeats. This sets the tone for the entire story, drawing a metaphor between the lifespan of a star and the emotional endurance of a woman's heart. So now the story begins. Let's go back to the time when Surekha was in love with Raj. So let's go back to the flashback. Surekha was in love with a man, Raj. Raj is a Maharashtrian man who belongs to Maharashtra, and Surekha is a Konkani girl, and their inter-regional inter-caste relationship was not accepted by Surekha's father. Despite opposition, Surekha stands firm and she tells Raj, what does she say? Only the souls meet. It is not a meeting of caste and regions. However, Surekha still wants to honor her family's tradition. She tells Raj that to preserve her ancestral values, he must tie a Mangal Sutra around her neck. Because Raj was unemployed and poor, she bought an artificial Mangal Sutra for 10 rupees herself, a quiet but powerful act of love and self sufficiency. Then, Surekha's father initially rejected the marriage, but when a daughter is born, he softens. Now Surekha has become a mother. Now Surekha is a mother of a daughter. Surekha doesn't want wealth. She only asks for her mother's Mangalsutra, symbolizing a desire to retain the dignity and tradition through her own hardship. Raj Raj continued unemployment. Raj still remains unemployed, and it has brought a lot of strain. Now Surekha has to pawn the Mangalsutra to feed the family. सुरेखा को अपनी अपना मंगलसूत्र गिरवी रखना पड़ता है, which she has received from her father later. Later, she works herself to keep the home afloat. She started working. Meanwhile, Raj falls into despair and he was feeling helpless by his inability to provide, and he turns to alcohol, and eventually Raj dies. He returns to his life to God, a poetic way of saying he committed suicide. How does he die? He returns his life to God. He has committed suicide, and now Surekha is alone. She has become a widow. Raj's death leaves Surekha a widow. Though she saves enough to retrieve the pawned Mangalsutra, she doesn't. She doesn't go back to the Marwadi or to that person to get his Mangal Sutra back. No, she doesn't go back. Why? Because the hands that could put it around her neck were not there. Because the person who has tied this tali or this Manga Sutra, the person is not alive. Now she doesn't require that Mangal Sutra. That's the reason she doesn't go to retrieve that Girvi or this pant Mangal Sutra. The emotional connection that gave the Mangal Sutra meaning had died. Years later, after so many years, a man proposes a practical union. She meets a man, and this man proposes to marry her. This man has two motherless children, and she has two fatherless ones, right? He offers marriage and brings his dead wife's repaired Mangalsutra. So he offers to marry Surekha, and he brings his dead wife's repaired Mangalsutra, right? Surekha laughs bitterly. She says, Mangalsutra died in the pawnbroker's iron box. Yet she agrees, hoping perhaps to reawaken something lost. She notices that the Mangalsutra had been repaired 3 times, symbolizing the broken, patchy nature of life and relationship. Unfortunately, this new man is a fraud, a hypocritic, a hypocrite who exploits Surekha financially and emotionally. So again, betrayal. He is not truly her husband, nor a father to her children. Realizing this, she removes the Mangal Sutra again, returning it to him. She removes the Mangal Sutra and she returns this repaired Mangal Sutra to this man. This act feels like the last heartbeat of the star, the death of her hopes, her emotional energy, and her identity as a dependent woman. Then, now alone again, now she has become again alone. Surekha returns to her old house. Her past feels like ashes hanging from the nails on the walls, a haunting metaphor for memories of pain and sorrow. But one night, lying between her sleeping children, she senses their soft breathing like a gentle spark among ashes. This is the turning point. She recalls the Tibetan idea again. What's the Tibetan idea? After 270 crore heartbeats, a star becomes ashes. But from those ashes, a new star is born. And who is this new star? Surekha's rebirth. Now, the very next day, Surekha buys a new Mangal Sutra, but this time she puts this Mangal Sutra on herself in front of mirror. No man places it on her. She doesn't require any men to put this Mangal Sutra around her neck. And finally, she says very powerfully, Today I have worn this Mangal Sutra with my own hands. It can neither divorce me nor make me a widow. This is a self-assertion, the ultimate act of independence. She no longer needs societal approval or male validation to define her worth. So, in this manner, we can sum up saying that in the end, Surekha emerges as a symbol of strength and self reliance after enduring love, loss, and betrayal. She chooses to no longer depend on anyone else for her identity or happiness. By wearing a new Mangal Sutra with her own hands, she reclaims control over her life. The story concludes on a hopeful note, showing that even after emotional collapse, like a star burning out, a new spark can be born from the ashes. It's a powerful affirmation of new it's a powerful affirmation of rebirth, resilience, and the quiet courage of starting over. So, this is how I have tried my best to summarize the story 270 Crore Heartbeats, written by the famous writer Amrita Pritam. Friends, if you like this video, click on the like button, write in the comment box, subscribe the channel for more videos, model question paper, and the last minute revision during the examination. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned with Mukesh English.